Really good on those two. Love it. Okay, so here, if I have x, oh, it's really tiny, sorry. Oh, does that say, oh, z divided by x. So z is 1/4 and x is -2. Okay, so let me just write it over here. So 1/4 divided by, and that's like saying -2/1. So when you divide by a fraction, you multiply times the reciprocal. So that would be 1/2, and it doesn't matter where the negative goes. So I'm just going to move it out front. So that would be -1/8. Same thing here. So this is like saying -8/1 over 1/4. So that's a fraction over a fraction. So I get -1/8. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. -8/1. And then multiply by 4/1. So that gives me a -32. Okay, so this one here, it looks like you are going to use your special formulas, but I think what's easier, yes, you were using this thing, but it's not 2a plus b, it's 2a times b. But these are just numbers. So let's just multiply or add them together and then square it. So you did it correct. So you get 5 minus a -4. So this turns into 9 squared in the numerator. This here turns into 4 squared. I guess I didn't need parentheses. I could just leave it as 4, right? And then, so let me erase those. Don't need parens. We don't want to add parens when we don't need them because sometimes it makes it look uglier. Okay, so this radical, we need to keep the parentheses around the -4. So this is like saying -4 squared plus 3 squared. And we don't get the plus or minus, so we just go and square the numerator, square each of those terms in the numerator. And then down here, you never, ever, 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 ever do that, right? So the square, let me put it in a different color up here. So the square root of a squared plus b squared does not equal a plus b. So if I take 4 and square it, or -4 and square it, I get 16 plus a 9, and that's still under the square root. And so that gives me root 25 down there. And then what happens when I add these up here? I get 97, right? So 97/5 is the answer. Okay, so be careful with those radicals. All right, you did really good. Yes, yes, yes. So this was the number of ducks compared to the number of goats. And then this we needed to fix a little bit because this is talking about price of goats and price of ducks. So I think you did this correct. So you said, okay, I'm going to put in 85 for the number of goats. And so then you found out the number of ducks was 360. Yay! Okay. So since I have the number of goats and I have the number of ducks, so let me just write it up here. So number of goats is 85 and number of ducks is 360. Okay, so then they give us information about the price. Okay, so now I'm going to use a different color for that. So that's kind of what this was, but we can't use the same letters, right? Because we're using G for goats and D for ducks. So that's the number of those things. So I need to do something like, I don't know, P. Okay, so here we go. Each duck sells for $8. Oh, so the price of a duck, so I'll call it PD, is $8, right? Oh, I know how much money I can get from selling all the ducks, right? So all the ducks, if I sold, would give me $8 times 360. And see what that gives me. That gives me 2880. And I think that's what you got here, right? So 2880. So that's for selling the ducks. Now I need to go find out how much the price of the goats are. So I'm going to call it PG, and that's kind of what you were figuring out here. So the price of the goats, a goat sells for $5 less, so subtract 5, 10 times the price of a duck. And so 10 times the price of a duck, which we know is 8. And so the price of a duck is 8, so I get 80 minus 5, so the price of a goat is 75. So now I can say if I sell all the goats sold would be $75, right? Because that's how much they sell each, times 85. And that would give me 6,375. So the total amount of money that we would get would be adding these two numbers together. So you just got mixed up with just one little number there. Otherwise, you was a really good, this was a hard problem.